Hello, hello! I'm talking today about the fortunate knight, Sir Ralph de Monthermer. He was probably born before 1270, and although his lineage is unknown, he was likely the son of a knight from southern Wales. Ralph enters the historical record as a squire, in service to the powerful Earl Gilbert de Clare of Gloucester and Hertford. In December 1295, the battle-scarred Earl Gilbert died, but fatefully for Ralph, he managed to catch the attention of his master's young widow, Joan of Acre, who also happened to be a daughter of the ruthlessly mighty King Edward I of England. She must have been quite taken with Ralph indeed. She convinced her father to knight him, and then, more controversially, in January 1297, she secretly married Ralph without her father's permission. Presumably, the newlyweds then lived in total fear for the next 3 months, and in April, Joan broke down and confessed the whole thing to her father. Well, predictably, Edward I was furious, and for a while he imprisoned his new son-in-law at Bristol. But Joan and others pled for Ralph's release until the king relented. In August 1297, Ralph was officially reconciled. He swore his fealty at Eltham, and afterward, by right of his wife, he was styled Earl of Gloucester and Hertford. Well, he still had a lot to prove to his fearsome new father-in-law. But in those days, there was a surefire way to impress King Edward I, which was to take part in one of his numerous wars. On the docket in 1298 was an invasion of Scotland, a kingdom which Edward had lately subdued, only for rebellion to grip the whole north. In January 1298, Sir Ralph de Monthermer joined a multitude of other knights and barons in a march on Scotland. He helped to seize the castles at Jedburgh and Roxburgh from rebel hands, and he probably fought at the Battle of Falkirk that July. And yet, the campaign was not a total success. In fact, the war for Scotland would drag on for over 15 years. Ralph did remain embroiled in it. He was present for the memorable siege on Caerlaverock in June 1300, and he returned to Scotland several other times for more campaigning. In October 1306, he acquired the vacant earldom of Atholl, whose former earl, John de Strathbogie, was executed the following month. Ralph also occupied some forfeited lands in Annandale, when the former ally Robert Bruce turned fugitive, purportedly at the instigation of Ralph himself, who warned Bruce covertly to flee the English court by sending him 12 pence and a pair of spurs. As a warden of Scotland that winter, Ralph went on to withstand Robert Bruce at a siege of Ayr. In April 1307, Ralph's beloved wife Joan died at Clare Castle. The earldoms of Gloucester and Hertford, which Ralph had held by right of his wife, now passed to his eldest stepson, Gilbert de Clare. Ralph also opted to sell the earldom of Atholl to its rightful heir, David de Strathbogie, for 10,000 marks, with which he then bought himself some more peaceable lands in southern England. In 1311, Sir Ralph de Monthermer was summoned again to Scotland, where war was still ongoing. He fought at the chaotic Battle of Bannockburn in 1314, and he was taken prisoner there along with many others. But the battle's victor, Robert Bruce, who was now the King of Scotland, honored his old associate by releasing Ralph without ransom. In December 1315, an aging Sir Ralph de Monthermer went on pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela in Spain. Sometime after his return, he again proved a tendency for falling in love with forbidden women, and he secretly married the very important heiress, Isabel le Despencer. They fell from favor for a time, but in 1319 they were finally pardoned. Sir Ralph de Monthermer lived on until circa 1325, and he probably died at Salisbury, where he's buried. His eldest son Thomas inherited his barony. That's the life of Sir Ralph de Monthermer. Thank you so much for watching.